Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a speed build which I'm replacing the starter home on Quick Cabana in Willow Creek. I've just started a 100 baby challenge on Twitch and it's hell. And I want to get these kids aged up as fast as I can. So I figured if I do a micro home using the tiny living pack, it would make my life a little bit easier because I could get them away from toddlers very quickly. So this ends up being 50 tiles out of 64, which is the second tier. So you don't get the plants growing as fast, but you do get the skills boost, which I think is really useful because then at least that way the toddlers will get to their development or go a lot faster than they would if they on just a normal lot. And I also thought it would add like a little bit of an extra challenge to it, make it a little bit more fun if everyone's squeezed into this tiny little house. And you will see as we go along, it fits. It's got one bedroom for the children, and then it's using a Murphy bed in the living room for our main sim, but it is pressed against the window, which I'm a little bit concerned now, actually thinking back, like whether they'll scoot along, because sometimes they do scoot and other times they don't. So here I add in a little skylight because it's quite a small build, so I wanted as much light in as possible without having like loads of lights because we were working on a budget. It ends up being about 17k in total, which is actually really good for a starter home. Well, in my case anyway. So it's like ready to be used in all types of gameplay as a starter home, and that includes like all the lot. I didn't use any debug or anything like that. It's all the landscaping is from the build by catalog. I wanted to stick to a budget as close as I could because this is like a gameplay, kind of like a gameplay series. So I kind of want it to be as realistic as I can. So at the minute, I believe my sim has one toddler, one baby, and then she's also pregnant with her third. So this house needed to have at least 2 toddler beds and a space for a bassinet at all times. And I think it gives it like an extra challenge because I want to be able to try and keep it underneath 64 tiles, as well as having space for like the kids to grow. So I kind of started off with a floor plan that I hope will be able to be used and push further. So I started off with a room because I was thinking, I'd have give the mum of the challenge a room, but then I realised for the bathroom you can't have 3 tiles because you need to have a bath to be able to bathe the toddlers because they won't use a shower. So that kind of adds a little bit of challenge as well because you lose 6 tiles to a bathroom. As well as also being able to squeeze a potty in there as well. So that was a fun little challenge to do. So this is where I chuck in the Murphy bed and then just fix up some plants. And I was trying to work out what I wanted to do with this space because it's just quite a long room. And in the end, I like divide it up and use the tiny living like built-in cabinet where it's like the bookcase, the TV, and the stereo. So that means that we get rid of a lot of objects later on that we have. And so to kind of save space as well, I decided to chuck the table outside and I let it make like this really nice little pergola over it. And I think as I build up the gameplay, I might add some plants over it so it's like a growing kind of like canopy. So in the kids' room, I started out with this green theme, and I mean, it's not bad. It's not the worst. But I really like those bed sheets on the toddlers' beds. I think they're very sweet and very neutral. And I kind of end up going with this like green-blue color theme, but I'm not too sure about the blue. The blue I use in the end is very I don't know. It's very washed out, and it just doesn't look as good. So I later on changed that to. So here I'm just going through adding in tiles and all the wall and floor decoration, so I don't run out of budget. I was just really concerned about that budget. We still had 7,000 simoleons at this point, so I don't know why I was that worried. But it starts to disappear really quickly when I go outside and do the landscaping, which I do before I end up doing the garden. So this is where I'm putting in that cabinet, and then I figured I would use a plant to disguise that like sharp edge. And then I also add in these nice wooden wall decorations from Eco Living to kind of divide the space up a little bit, and it ends up giving this like whole room a little 70s vibe, especially with that orange color. And then I go in and I stick a computer here in that corner because I realize we've got the space for it. And then it's like an extra little functionality in the build, which is ideal. Just going through and adding decorations. I even end up having enough of a budget to have some kitchen counters and kitchen cabinets, like newer ones. I originally had like really horrible base game ones. And then for the walls, I go with something very neutral because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And because it's a tiny build, I probably would only play with the walls down anyway, so I don't think it would be too much of a problem to have white. In the screenshots, it looks a little bit iffy. So just going through, making sure my colours match up. And then this is where I build the little outdoor pergola, which I think is really sweet and will look really nice in future to have like parties and stuff like that. My sim has the aspiration of party animal because I did the story mode, which I don't normally do, but I couldn't really bother to think of a personality for this sim, so I just figured I'd make it up as using that. I also wanted to have this mini garden area, but she makes a little bit of money from that, but because we started off the challenge with like just the base amount of like standard amount of living, I kind of haven't really needed to make any money in this so far because I've not really bought a lot. But now that we've renovated the house, we think we've been left with like a 1,000 simoleon, so we're gonna have to start making some cash now. So just going through, adding some terrain paint, changing a couple of colours. And then I start on the landscaping out the front, adding a little bit more plants so it doesn't look as sad and lonely out the front. I actually really enjoyed playing this challenge on Twitch. It's my first stream back for a while, so it was good to start off with something that will be a little bit longer running to give me something to focus on. But I think I'm gonna do a mix of content on my next stream. So if you ever fancy checking it out, it's Court A on Twitch as well. I'll link it down below in the description so you can check it out. So just finishing off, I will shut up now and let you enjoy the rest of the build, and there'll be some screenshots to follow. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.